Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Hypeman's AFL Uncensored, where every subject on or off the field is topic for conversation. To start us off today, we're going to talk about the biggest question towards the end of the 2025 AFL season. Where will Harley Reid play? That question has been answered. He has signed a 2-year contract extension with West Coast. He will play on at West Coast. Let's see how that works out for West Coast, and I apologise to all the other teams that were interested in him. But yeah, he continues on at West Coast. So let's see how that plans out. Late last week, the All-Australian team was announced, the final 22. A lot of well-known, good players missed out from the 44-man extended squad. So without further ado, I'll announce your All-Australian team. Your All-Australian backs are Josh Battle, Hawthorn; Sam Taylor, GWS; Jordan Clark, Fremantle. Your halfbacks are Bailey Dale, Western Bulldogs; Harris Andrews, Brisbane Lions; Nazaya Wanganeen Millera, St Kilda. Your centres are Bailey Smith, Geelong; Jordan Dawson, Adelaide; Hugh McCluggage, Brisbane. Your rucks are Max Gawn, Melbourne; Noah Anderson, Gold Coast Suns; Ed Richards, Western Bulldogs. Your half forwards are Isaac Heaney, Sydney; Jeremy Cameron, Geelong, who also got the captaincy, which I find weird. We'll go into that further later. Zach Bailey, Brisbane. Your forwards are Jack Gunston, Hawthorn; Riley Philthorpe, Adelaide; Keziah Pickett, Melbourne. Your interchange: Nick Dacos, Collingwood; Marcus Bontempelli, Western Bulldogs; Caleb Serron, Fremantle; and finally Matt Rowell, Gold Coast Suns. Now my question to the selectors is, Josh Battle in your back pocket? There were better backmen this year than Josh Battle. Nick Vlosten, for starters. Even though Richmond didn't have a fantastic year, he was our key man down back. And yes, I am being biased. And a lot of supporters would be biased. But the selection committee have some questions to answer. What is your selection criteria? How do you select the final 22? Because it obviously ain't based off the year's performance. Because if it was, Nick would be in the back pocket instead of Josh Battle. That's just my opinion, but feel free to answer the question. Anyway, moving on. AFL update after round 3. Richmond played Essendon on Friday night in the Dreamtime match. Richmond lost by 15 points, which led us off to a bad start for 2025. Richmond currently sit 0-3 after round 3. GWS lost to Adelaide. Sydney beat Geelong. West Coast defeated St Kilda. Port dominated Gold Coast Suns. Hawks beat Dogs in a low-scoring affair to round out Saturday's games. On Sunday, Collingwood lost to Melbourne, and North made history with a 100-point win over Freo. Carlton beat the Lions. 4 teams remain winless so far this season. They are Richmond, Geelong, GWS and Gold Coast Suns. Whilst 5 teams are yet to be beaten. They are North Melbourne, Melbourne, Sydney, Essendon and Hawthorn. Let's jump back to North's win against Freo. North made history down in Freo by 100 points with a record scoreline and win-loss scoreline. 100 points, that's pretty impressive, North. Got to give you kudos for that. There are 4 teams that remain winless. How do you register a win? What is your game plan moving forward? That is really bad to start off the 2025 season. All right, we're going to get into some trade news. North Melbourne have delisted 11 players. While St Kilda have axed 2. North has advised 11 players they will not be offered contracts in 2026. They are McMillan, Pittard, Majak-Daw, Jacobs, Ahern, Durden, Wood, Crocker, Hosey and Murphy. That's 11 players. That's half a squad that you've delisted North Melbourne. I get you're in a rebuild phase and you had a shocker 25 season, but hell, half a squad? Whilst there are still 8 nervously awaiting deals for 2026. Is North Melbourne going to delist potentially an 18-man squad or 19-man squad? That is the question on everyone's lips at the moment. And where does that leave North Melbourne going into this trade period? Do they pick up some good ones? Do they have another rough 2026 season? We'll be watching this trade period closely, North. Hopefully you make some deals of a lifetime. Let's go back to Majak-Daw for a second. 2 years ago, Majak-Daw suffered a life-altering injury where no one thought he could come back and play footy ever again. But he did. And he proved himself to be one of the strongest people that I know. You don't suffer an injury like that and usually survive. As always, if anyone needs help, there are services out there to help you, Lifeline, all that. But yeah, please be safe. Kane Corns, please stop your commentary around anything to do with AFL. Kane, I dislike you immensely, and so do a lot of people I know and speak to. You make ridiculous and outlandish comments. You ridicule and mock experienced people around you. Your media career has been as disappointing and lackluster as your AFL career was. Because God knows you did all playing for Port Adelaide, and you've done all in the media apart from ridicule and belittle and absolutely trash anyone around you. So please do everyone a favour and retire. Or if not, I'm happy to start a petition for Kane Corns sacking. I think that will be a miraculous day in AFL altogether. The day Kane Corns is sacked or retires. We'll leave it in your ballpark, Kane. Get out of here. Anyway, that's one of my little rants. On to the next little rant. Umpires. Are umpires too involved in today's game? In round 22 of the AFLW season, Hawthorn vs Carlton down at Frankston, a whopping 42 free kicks were awarded in 75 minutes of action. Now, for those of you that don't know the math, that's one free kick every 56 seconds. Let the game play. For crying out loud, put your whistle away. Anyway, in the men's AFL season, 15 teams were awarded over 400 free kicks. Another 2 teams were awarded over 500 free kicks, with only one team, being Richmond, to get under 400 free kicks for the season. I'm going to directly speak to the incoming AFL footy boss. I'm going to directly speak to the incoming AFL footy boss, Greg Swan. As the new AFL boss, where is the accountability for the umpires to get it right? Week in, week out, we see umpires make bad calls, but we never hear from the AFL or the umpires admitting fault. Mr. Swan, where's the transparency? Where's the accountability? We hold players to a high standard of accountability and transparency, and clubs alike. But it seems we have missed the target where umpires are concerned. Why can't we have and hold the umpires to the same accountability that we do clubs and players alike. If this topic ain't the top of your list coming into the role, then you've got the wrong list, sir. And you need to throw it in the trash and rewrite that list and make this topic number one. Because the AFL fans are sick and tired of the rubbish calls that the umpires make week in, week out. So I'll leave that ball in your court for now, Mr. Swan. Hopefully you see this. Now let's address the umpires directly. As I said earlier, put the whistle away and just let the game play. I'm not saying don't award free kicks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying stop with your rubbish calls. Your calls that cost games. And the AFL provide better education to the umpires around the rules. Why can't we go back to like the 1980s where if the umpires had a poor game, they got sent out to the country to umpire for a couple of weeks? That's what used to happen. What changed? Oh, I know. We came up with these enterprise bargaining agreements where it doesn't matter what the umpires do or say on the field. They can get away with it. It doesn't matter. We ridicule players and clubs for making mistakes. Why can't we ridicule umpires and punish umpires? That is the question. Because I tell you what, fans are sick of paying to go to the games where the umpires are centre of attention. As I said, one free kick every 56 seconds. You're barely letting the game play for a minute before you're calling a free kick. Rubbish. Rubbish stats. The whole lot of it is rubbish. At the end of the day, a bad umpiring decision is going to cost a team a premiership win. Then the AFL is going to have a riot that it cannot control on its hands. So, Greg Swan, AFL boss, and umpiring coaches and all that alike, pick up your game, start having some transparency and accountability for the umpires, because we, as fans, I believe, are sick of it. Get your shit together, AFL! Anyway, that is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure you come back for more on the next episode. Cheers.